How to Have a Meaningful Life, created by Jackie Febles.
Jake Gallagher.
Jonathan Perez.
What does it mean to have a meaningful life to you? In today's society, we're very goal-oriented, career-driven, and sometimes waste so much time focusing on the future and not enough time living in the moment. According to an article on Psychology Today by Ito, states that having a meaningful life is related to something of worth or value. It's important to ask yourself what you believe is valuable to you. Are there valuable aspects of your life that you're proud of or of worth? For example, people live most of their lives working in their careers. Your career should be important and make you feel that it is meaningful to your life. Therefore, meaningfulness, according to Ito, is a life we consider to have many aspects of sufficient value. According to the Huffington Post, an article by Peter Field states that having a meaningful life is developing a sense of purpose, a reason to get out of bed. Research conducted at the University of Rochester has shown that having a sense of purpose in life not only increases the quality of our lives, but may also help us to live longer, regardless of our age. Don't get meaning and happiness confused. Meaning and happiness may sound alike, and we may want to strive for happiness, but having a meaningful life is much more rewarding. Living meaningfully means that we need to accept the fact that there are bumps, bruises, and perhaps even happiness along the way. So how can you have a more meaningful life? Field states that creating meaning can be as simple as lending a hand, helping others by giving our time or volunteering, spending time with family and friends, which can enhance feelings of greater meaning and purpose. Another way is expressing ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves enough to show feelings towards those around us. All of these ways of creating a more meaningful life can help you excel in your career, life, and as a leader in many life roles.
This is an example of what meaningfulness means. Here, we can see the mom making a coat so her son can play in the snow while being happy and warm. She creates meaning for herself by giving her son the coat. He can now play with his friends and build snowmen and throw snowballs while being warm. He plays happily until he sees a homeless boy trying to get warm. He gives up his happiness by giving the coat to the homeless boy. He is sad because he can't play outside anymore. He goes home and tells his mom what has occurred. Both cry and hug in joy because his selfless action made his life meaningful. According to Pew Research Center, about half of American workers say they are very satisfied with their job. 3 in 10 are somewhat satisfied, and the remainder say they are somewhat dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. It is important to make sure that our own needs are satisfied and pleased at work. From there, we can help make sure that our bosses' and coworkers' needs are met to make for a more meaningful and happy experience. Most of us strive to find not just a job, but a career. We fear that a job will just get us by, or is a stepping stone to the job that we want to be a career. Luckily, we as classmates are on the right track. The college-educated workforce is among the most satisfied. A study done by Lips and Morris was conducted to find the generational differences in the definition of meaningful work. Out of the 298 participants, the intrinsic values were among the most popular result. In order to assure that intrinsic values are met, they can help employees understand how their jobs fit into the organizational mission, why each job is important, and create a supportive organizational climate. These can be achieved through open discussions, workshops, or regular old-fashioned conversation.
Meaningfulness in leadership. Meaningfulness is crucial for a leader and the people whom he or she leads. According to the article, leaders who make meaning meaningful Something we have to take into consideration when leading a project or a task is the distinction between motion and emotion. According to the author David Urich, motion is what we do, while emotion is why we do it. The most effective leaders are those who focus on emotions, those who can make the why meaningful. Leaders create meaning by expressing, framing, and bonding. Leaders publicly articulate and express feelings that people in the organization feel but are unwilling or unable to express. Leaders frame and reframe the meaning of the followers' work and restructure responsibilities to change and alter the meaning of the work. Leaders use rituals and symbolic behaviors that are socially standardized and repetitive to reinforce core values and ideals of the organization. Transformational leaders use charisma to create meaningful visions by engaging in the previously mentioned inspirational behaviors. However, leaders may encounter difficulties when making that meaningful visions a tangible reality. According to the article, Leading with Meaning, it is important to connect employees with the beneficiaries of their work in order to make visions tangible and to create more meaning to their work. As explained before, giving and meaningfulness are positively correlated. When people transcend their own self-interest is when they find more meaning in what they do. The most effective leaders are those who can establish a connection between employees' job and the prosocial impact of their work, because they understand that if they work harder and perform more effectively, living and breathing human beings will be affected positively.
Our group conducted 3 interviews with 3 questions that asked, what does a meaningful life mean to you in your personal life? What does a meaningful life mean to you in your career? And if you could change one thing in your life to become more meaningful, what would you do?
I think the thing that's most meaningful to me in my personal life is the fact that I'm surrounded by good, solid, moral individuals who love and care about me, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to spend time with them regularly.
Meaningful life for me would be based off relationships. So I sometimes tend to put up walls and push people away, and I think that I need to realize that how important my family and friends are and be confident in my relationships with them, and I think that that would make my life more meaningful in my personal life.
Just spending quality time with my family, my friends, going out, spending a good amount of time with my girlfriend as well. Planning out for the future, talking about what do we want to do, finishing school, doing all those sorts of things that I really keep track of that. Aside from the hobbies that I have that they're sort of important, but they're not my main things that I focus on.
I think the thing I find most meaningful professionally is the fact as being a chef, I'm able to be creative and share my creativity and bring joy to others through that creativity, therefore making them happy and them having a better life.
A meaningful life in my career, especially me going into a career where I'll be leading a team of hundreds of people, would be relationships and trust. I want my team to be able to trust me, and I want to get to know them on a personal level, and I think that that would make my job a lot more meaningful to me.
Working on with other people that to fix things, to help do other things that are based off helping others build stuff. Since I'm interested in computers and programming and gaming and all that, I want to help out other people trying to learn those things.
I wish I had the ability and the time to spend helping other people that are less fortunate than myself, to help them improve and better themselves along the way through life.
If I had to change something in my life to be more meaningful, I think I would be less goal-focused and more relationship-focused. I think I tend to put my drive and my goals first before relationships, and I start to lose that actual personal relationship with people.
The big change that I got coming up is I'm moving, and I'm going to be moving closer to my girlfriend and her family, so I'm going to start up a new life pretty much, and that means a lot to me. So that's going to be one thing that I'm going to be doing. It's a big change, a big step towards a different career, how I manage my time. I'm going to be closer to her, and that's one thing that's going to be a big, huge thing that I'm going to be looking forward to.
The 3 individuals we interviewed all responded with meaning being created from the people that they are surrounded by. Even more so, it was typically their family, partner, and friends that made their life the most meaningful. This relates to Jackie's tips that we can create more meaning through our quality relationships with others. It is a simple concept, but we take it for granted. It relates well with how the 3 responded and how to create more meaning in their career too. Each person immediately related their experience to creating more meaning in their relationship with their coworkers and the reaction they received from their coworkers. This relates to the research done that discovered how to create a meaningful career. Open discussions and old-fashioned conversations were at the top on the list for leaders to create more meaning, and that is exactly how the interviews responded. As we saw in the video, meaning was created by giving, not by taking. These interviews had no idea what research we had conducted before we asked the question, yet they responded with the same findings that we saw in the Harvard research. Giving is what creates meaning. Finally, each individual gave a somewhat similar but different answer in regards to how they would create a more meaningful life if they could change something right now. Going forward, it would help them to know that as they strive for the change for a more meaningful life, it should be without question that the people they interact with know how they feel about them and how to keep a relationship without walls. This ensures more meaning, even if it creates some difficulty in the beginning. Thank you for listening to our presentation. May you have a meaningful life.